Hey folks, welcome to ADSR. I'm Stephen Ellestad. Make sure you subscribe to the ADSR YouTube channel and follow on social media for great production content. With Maschine 2.6, there's a number of new features that are available on the Jam controller, including note editing, which is called Quick Edit, multiple velocities via the pad matrix, step modulation, and the ability to copy patterns between groups. This tutorial is going to look at Quick Edit, 16 velocities, and pattern copying, while I'll look at step modulation in a separate video because it deserves a little bit of a closer look. To start out, previously we've had some problems with the inability to adjust the velocity of events that are happening, at least via the Jam controller. We could certainly do it in the software, but there was no way to do it natively on the hardware. Now, with 2.6, we can access 16 velocity mode either in one-step step sequencer, pad mode, or inside of note repeat. And we'll see that we have a matrix of 16 different lit up pads that are the color of our group, and they go from lowest velocity to the highest velocity. So if we set in a series of things, let me go into my grid and make sure I'm set correctly. I've just got a flute loaded up here, and we can see on the software the velocity, in fact let me call that up, is very low. Now if I come into a higher level and say add in several of those, now we can see that it's higher up. We can go all the way up to very, very strong velocity. And so this is separate from accent mode. And we can see that the velocity is reflected here in the software. So it's a real simple way to come in here and quickly change our velocity settings. In fact, let me go to something a little closer. Now if I come in here and adjust these up, so we can see it's a real simple way to use the controller to directly select a velocity. That is very welcome for many of us that wanted to be able to add some more subtle variations in some rhythmic parts or what have you. So 16 velocities available in the one sound step sequencer, pad mode, and on note repeat. And the lowest value is always in the lower left, highest value is the upper right, and the lower left quadrant here has the color of the sound that's currently in focus. So if I duplicate the sound, we'll see that the quadrant is also going to change. So pretty straightforward there. And if no velocity is selected, the lower left quadrant is dim, and the default input velocity is going to be used instead. And if we do select it, it's a little brighter. And they're toggles, so we can turn them on and off just by pressing the corresponding button. And accent is always going to override any particular selected value. And now these velocities are also going to carry over to, say, the keyboard, the piano roll, the arpeggiator, or any other step sequencer modes. It's just that we can't see the display there, so we need to toggle in and out of that to be able to set our specific velocity. I think that's a very welcome addition to the Jam controller functionality. Just as exciting is Quick Edit. One of the things we haven't been able to do easily is to edit note events directly from the controller. With Quick Edit, now Jam has the same note editing capabilities as the 4x4 controllers. We can change pitch, velocity, note length, swing, and position directly from the hardware using the step sequencer. And so Quick Edit's going to work in 1 sound, 4 sound, 8 sound mode, as well as the piano roll. So if I come in here, we'll say in 1 sound mode and add a couple of notes there. In fact, let's go to a slightly lower velocity. Now we can press or hold one or more steps to enter Quick Edit, and the steps are just going to start flashing. And now to adjust the note length, we just press and hold the encoder, and we can see how it moves. Now you'll also notice on the controller, it's going to show us the length. So very welcome visual feedback there as well. This works on individual notes, and it's going to be tied to your grid value. Just like that. We can press and we can let go and adjust notes individually, like so. And the note length is only going to be shown when the steps are being held and the encoder is pressed. So it's not doing anything now, but when I do this, now we can see the white pads illuminating to demonstrate the length. And that'll go as long as we can go. Just a nice visual feedback there. Now, if we want to move the note position, we can press and hold the note, press swing, and just turn the encoder. Don't press it, just turn it, and it's going to move in 10-tick increments. So we can do some fine-tuning or nudging of, say, parts, especially maybe for dialing in the groove between like claps and snares on a beat or something like that. Now, if we want to change the pitch of the steps, let me go into keyboard mode here, and we can see that I can hold this, press tune, and now I can dial up and down to change the pitch. And if I move to the next page, just need to make sure that we're holding that. And we'll notice how it moves up and down on the controller as well. Pretty straightforward. So to change the pitch, press tune and then turn the encoder. To change the length, press and hold and turn the encoder. And to change the position, have it on swing and just turn the encoder. Now the other cool thing we can do is, let me create a new group here, go into song mode, and I can clear this pattern, create a blank pattern. And so if we come over here and look at this pattern here, I have a blank pattern here. Now it's possible to duplicate that pattern as well. So if we come into keyboard mode, we can see that it's carried that same pitch. So copying between groups, that's actually a really big deal. We haven't been able to do that easily. This is currently only a jam function, but I'm sure we'll see that coming to the 4x4 controllers at some point. I really welcome the ability to make these patterns transfer between groups. There's a lot of different creative possibilities that come from that. So a lot of real fun stuff here. The ability to adjust pitch, the ability to adjust note position, the ability to adjust velocity via the step pads, and the ability to copy patterns between groups. A lot of really cool things in the Maschine 2.6 update. And of course, step modulation, which I'll be covering in the next tutorial. I'm Stephen Ellestad for ADSR. Make sure you subscribe to the ADSR YouTube channel and follow on social media. And we'll see you next time. Have a great day.